Have you ever been in that situation, where you bump into someone, say a quick, oh, sorry, and it's totally fine? Just done?
Happens all the time.
But then think about something deeper, like maybe a promise you broke or something really harsh you said, a betrayal even?
Right.
Suddenly those same words, I'm sorry, they just fall flat, don't they? They feel hollow, almost, I don't know, insulting.
Yeah, they absolutely can. And sometimes a superficial apology like that can actually make things worse. It can build resentment, not fix it, especially when the hurt is significant.
That feeling, that's exactly what we're diving into today. This isn't just about, good manners.
Not at all. A truly sincere apology, it's a powerful tool. It's vital for our emotional health, our psychological well-being, and honestly, it's the foundation for repairing relationships.
And that's really our mission here, to kind of unpack what makes an apology genuinely powerful. We want to look at the common mistakes people make that just render apologies useless.
And show how real remorse, backed up by action, can heal even deep wounds and rebuild that crucial trust. It's about getting past just the words.
To real reconciliation.
Exactly.
So why do those simple words, I'm sorry, often feel so inadequate when the hurt is real?
Well, it seems it's not just the words themselves. It's often a big mismatch in what's expected and what's understood.
Yeah.
We fall into this pattern of the reflexive apology.
A reflexive apology.
Yeah, think about it. You step on someone's toe. Oh, sorry. It just pops out, right?
Yeah.
Almost automatic, like a social reflex.
Right. No thought involved.
Precisely. But for deeper hurts, that reflex is completely meaningless. It doesn't carry any weight.
It's fascinating how early we learn that reflex, too. I read this story about a little kid, a preschooler, who emptied her lunchbox in the trash.
Oh, wow.
And when her mom confronted her, she just yelled, I said I was sorry. Like, she genuinely thought saying the words was the consequence, not just acknowledging what she did.
That's such a perfect example of the disconnect. We sort of learn, maybe accidentally, that the words alone are like magic, that they can just fix things.
But they can't. Not when the pain is real.
I know. Because when someone is truly hurt, what they're really looking for deep down is an apology that shows you get it, that you understand how deeply your actions affected them.
It's not just admitting a mistake happened.
It's grasping the pain caused, the ripple effect.
And the key ingredient that's often missing in those failed apologies is, well, it's empathy, isn't it?
It really is. And some people might think, oh, empathy, that sounds hard. But think about this. You see someone fall down badly in the street.
Yeah.
What's the immediate reaction? People rush to help, right? That instant where you kind of feel what they're feeling, you see it from their perspective, that's empathy. Most of us have that capacity.
So we have it, but maybe we don't always use it when we should.
Exactly. The challenge isn't whether we possess empathy, but whether we can consciously deploy it when it's really needed, especially when we're the one who caused the hurt.
Okay, so recognizing that need for empathy, that leads us to what a good apology actually looks like. If it's not just the words, what is it?
Right. What are the components?
Yeah, can we break it down?
Definitely. A truly meaningful apology, think of it as doing several jobs at once. It expresses real remorse, it shows deep respect for the other person's feelings, and crucially, it starts the repair process.
Okay.
Our sources sort of distill this down into 8 key steps. You can almost think of them as like the 8 R's of a genuine reparative apology.
The 8 R's. I like that. Okay, what's the first R?
The first one is recognition. Recognizing the specific wrong. You have to clearly name what you did wrong. No vague stuff.
So not just, sorry about yesterday.
No, more like, yesterday on the phone, I said X, and that was hurtful. Or, in much more serious cases, I had an affair and that caused you immense pain. You have to name the action. Be specific.
That makes sense. Clarity is key, which leads, I guess, to the second R, really owning it.
Exactly. The second R is taking full responsibility. And this means 0 excuses. Absolutely no shifting blame.
Uh-oh. Like saying, I'm sorry you felt hurt.
That's a classic non-apology.
Huh.
It subtly puts the focus on their feeling as the problem, not your action that caused the feeling. And watch out for the word but.
The I'm sorry but killer.
Totally. It just cancels everything that came before it. Look, actions like cheating or yelling or breaking something, those were often choices, right? Not accidents. You have to own the choice.
Okay, so name the wrong, take responsibility. What about the feeling behind it?
That's the third R, genuine remorse and regret. This needs to come from the heart. It's about truly sympathizing with how your actions landed on them.
How do you express that?
Simple, direct statements can be powerful. What I did was wrong. Or, I realize now how insensitive I was. It shows you understand the harm.
And acknowledging their feelings, because sometimes people just need you to see how angry or hurt they are.
That's number 4. Acknowledging their right to feel and their specific emotions. You have to validate whatever they're feeling. Sadness, anger, fury, bitterness, you name it.
Even if it's really intense.
Especially if it's intense. And if they need space, you have to respect that. Don't push. Allowing them that space actually builds trust and opens the door for real talk later.
Right. Validating their reality. Okay, what's next after accepting their feelings?
The 5th R is accepting consequences. Recognizing that your actions didn't just hurt them. Maybe they impacted others too. Family, friends.
Yeah, ripples in a pond.
Exactly. And the apologizer needs to accept the fallout, even if they feel the reaction is a bit unfair. You created the situation, you have to accept the consequences.
Okay, so owning the past, validating feelings. What about the future? How do you show you won't do it again?
That brings us straight to the 6th R. Commitment to change and stating future intentions. This is huge for accountability.
So not just, I won't do it again.
No, you need specifics. Describe concrete actions you'll take. In the future, I will pause before speaking when I'm angry. That's a start. But for bigger things,
Like what?
it might mean I am cutting off all contact with a third person, or I'm starting therapy to understand why I did this, or I've asked my friend to hold me accountable. It moves from words to an actual plan.
A concrete plan. I like that. And is there anything you can do right now, in the moment, besides talking?
Yes, that's the 7th R, offering recompense or making amends. It's about actively trying to put things right.
Does that mean, like, buying flowers?
It can, but it doesn't have to be material. It could be asking, what can I do to make this up to you? Or offering practical help, let me clean up this mess, or can I replace what I broke? It shows willingness to act.
Okay, and the final R. This feels like a really crucial one.
It is. The 8th R is refraining from expecting forgiveness on your timeline, or expecting it at all, really.
So now, are we okay now? 5 minutes later.
Definitely not. Forgiveness is a process. It can take weeks, months, maybe years. And it can only really start once they feel you truly understand the impact and have sincerely apologized. Pushing for forgiveness is just self-centered. It makes it about you again.
Okay, the 8 R's. That's a fantastic framework. But let's be real, we often get this wrong, don't we?
Oh, constantly.
What are some of the most common traps? The sort of non-apologies that just make everything worse?
Yeah, knowing the pitfalls is just as critical.
Yeah.
The sources we looked at highlight what you could call the 5 worst ways to apologize. I bet you'll recognize these.
Lay them on me. What's number 1?
First up is the too brief apology, like a mumbled sorry, maybe with an eye roll, or a quick dismissive, look, I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, that just says, leave me alone.
Exactly. It communicates irritation, not remorse. The goal is ending the conversation, not actually apologizing.
Okay, what's next? I think I know this one.
I bet you do. It's the infamous, I'm sorry, but. That but just detonates the apology, doesn't it? It immediately pivots to an excuse or justification, or worse, starts blaming the other person. Total apology killer.
Definitely. And what about the one that subtly blames the other person's reaction?
Ah, yes, the blaming apology. The classic is, I'm sorry you feel that way.
It makes my blood boil just hearing it.
Right, because it frames their feelings as the problem, not your actions that cause those feelings.
Yeah.
It's a way of dodging responsibility.
Okay, number 4. I've seen this one too, where the person apologizing suddenly makes it all about them.
Yes, the self-effacing apology. Like, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm just such an idiot, I always mess things up.
So you end up comforting them.
Precisely. You fix the script, suddenly they need the comfort, and it kind of lets them off the hook. If they're just a screw-up, well, they can't help it, right? They lose all the attention.
Sneaky. And the last one?
The last of the worst is the overly repeated apology. Just saying sorry, 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 over and over again.
Doesn't more sorry mean more sorry?
You'd think, but no. Once or twice can add emphasis, sure. But repeating it endlessly actually devalues the words. It starts to sound insincere, and it shifts the focus again from their hurt to your guilt. It becomes about easing your discomfort, not theirs.
Okay, these pitfalls are clear. Let's bring this to life. You mentioned the affair example earlier. How does an ineffective apology sound there versus an effective one?
Right. So the ineffective blame-shifting one might sound like, look, I'm sorry I had the affair, but honestly, I felt like you were pushing me away. I was lonely and you weren't meeting my needs, so I turned elsewhere.
Wow. Yeah, that puts it all back on the partner.
Completely.
Yeah.
It justifies the behavior and blames the victim. Now contrast that with an effective apology using our R's. I had an affair, and I know that caused you unimaginable pain. I can only begin to grasp the depth of it, but I see I hurt you terribly.
Okay, that's recognition and remorse.
Exactly. Then responsibility. My main job in our marriage was to make you feel safe and cherished. I did the absolute opposite. I broke your trust. For all of that, I am profoundly sorry.
And the commitment part.
Crucial. Followed by, I have completely cut off contact with the other person. I've told my therapist everything. I am committed to understanding why I made this choice, and I promise to share what I learned with you if and when you're ready. I will do whatever it takes to begin rebuilding trust if you'll let me.
That sounds incredibly different. Hard, but different.
It is hard,
Yeah.
but it's honest. It takes full ownership and lays out a path forward.
It's easy to talk about this theoretically, but actually doing it, putting that empathy into practice when you're the one who messed up, that's the hard part. Do you have maybe a more everyday example, something relatable?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a great personal story from one of the experts whose work we reviewed. He was out at his garden one day and, distractedly pulled what he thought was a weed.
Okay.
Turns out it was one of his wife's prized dahlia flowers that she'd worked really hard on. His first reaction, the reflexive apology, "Oh, I'm sorry, honey, I thought it was a weed." And then he just went back to what he was doing.
Uh-oh. Missed the mark a bit.
Completely. That was the reflexive, almost meaningless apology. But later, it must have sunk in. He realized the impact.
So he went back.
He did. He went back to his wife and said something like, "Hey, I was thinking about your flowers and how much work you put into them. I remember you telling me about finding that dahlia farm, how excited you were about these particular ones. I know they meant a lot to you, and I saw how disappointed you looked when I pulled that one out. I am truly sorry for that. Next time, I promise, I'll check with you before I pull anything, even if I'm sure it's a weed."
Wow. That's night and day, isn't it?
Totally. The second apology wasn't about his mistake, thinking it was a weed. It was about her experience, her feelings, her work. That's empathy in action.
That's a perfect illustration, and it leads right into our next point. The apology, even a really great one like that second Dahlia apology, is just the start, right?
Absolute crucial point. It's the necessary first step, but it's rarely enough on its own to fully heal things. Rebuilding trust, that takes time. It takes consistency and vulnerability from both people.
So what does that rebuilding process actually look like after the apology?
Well, a big part of it is consistency and transparency. Trust isn't rebuilt with one grand gesture. It's rebuilt brick by brick through predictable, reliable actions over time.
Meaning
Consistently following through on promises made in the apology, being open, maybe agreeing to check-ins or sharing information if that's part of the repair plan, and importantly, making time for those potentially difficult, uncomfortable follow-up conversations.
And that leads to the communication piece, I imagine.
Exactly. Open and honest communication is vital. Both people need to be willing to talk about what happened, what they need now, how they're feeling. The person who was hurt might need to express their pain or anger more than once.
And the person who apologized needs to just listen. Again.
Yes. Stay present. Listen without getting defensive. Resist the urge to shut it down because it's uncomfortable. That ongoing emotional presence is part of the healing.
What about the flip side? What happens if someone just refuses to apologize or gives one of those terrible non-apologies we talked about?
The cost is huge. Often way more than people realize. Refusing to apologize or giving an insincere one, it just pours salt in the original wound.
How so?
It sends a clear message. Your feelings don't matter to me. Or my pride, my ego is more important than fixing this relationship. It shows a fundamental lack of respect and care.
And the result is
Breakdown in communication, definitely. Erosion of trust, sometimes permanently. And it can absolutely lead to the end of relationships. There was this example of two brothers, John and Michael, really close.
Yeah.
Had a business disagreement. John messed up, but refused to genuinely apologize. Stubbornness, ego, whatever it was. That refusal completely fractured their bond. Decades of silence followed, all potentially over the lack of a sincere apology.
That's heartbreaking. It really highlights the power involved.
It does, and it's important to see that a sincere apology isn't weakness. It's not submission, even though sometimes, legal advice might suggest otherwise in certain contexts.
It feels counterintuitive, maybe.
It can. But actually, offering a genuine apology is an act of incredible courage and strength. It shows respect for the other person, for the relationship, for yourself, really. And often, that courage can be met with reciprocity. The other person might soften, might mirror that vulnerability.
So it can shift the whole dynamic.
Fundamentally, it changes the narrative from I'm the victim, you're the villain, to we face this difficulty and we're finding a way through it together.
And that's the transformative power we're talking about.
That's exactly it. A good apology is like a catalyst. It can totally change the emotional weather of a conflict. For the person who was hurt, it eases anger, resentment. For the person apologizing, it can lessen shame and guilt.
It restores dignity.
Yes. Dignity, respect.
Oh.
It reopens those blocked communication channels. And it shifts the whole mindset from like a win-lose battle to a potential win-win solution. It actually makes relationships more resilient.
So bringing this all together, the core message seems to be that a sincere apology is this incredibly powerful act. It's about courage, humility, deep empathy. And it's essential for processing emotions, for rebuilding trust, for making our connections stronger. And it involves all those steps we discussed, right? The 8 R's. Recognizing the specific wrong, taking full responsibility, expressing genuine remorse, acknowledging their right to feel, accepting consequences, committing to change, offering recompense, and refraining from demanding quick forgiveness.
You got it. That's the heart of it.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels important to remember that healing. It's not usually a straight line, is it?
Not at all. There will likely be good days, bad days, maybe steps backward. But with real commitment from both sides, repair is possible. I love that quote from Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
Which one?
He said something like, forgiving and being reconciled is not about pretending that things are other than they are. It is a risky undertaking, but in the end, it's worthwhile, because in the end, only an honest confrontation with reality can bring about real healing.
An honest confrontation with reality, that takes courage.
It does. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is, what personal courage can you bring? Either to offering an apology that's needed, or maybe to truly hearing and accepting one that's offered to you.
Because that act, which can feel small or just incredibly hard, it can be genuinely transformative for your relationships and for your own peace of mind.